The witches of Etsy can cast a curse on your ex. Well, totally newsworthy. So I thought we should do a stream cursing our exes. I mean, now we can stop slashing their tires and signing them up to 10 different erectile dysfunction newsletters every single day. You know? We could just get a witch on Etsy instead to curse our exes for us. Instead of taking those measures ourselves, you know? So, so yeah. I know that you have exes that you hate. So, give me their names. I'm going to cast our exes. Now, of course, I don't do curses. I don't do any dark magic. I do not. I don't do these things. You know, you guys who do work with me will know that I don't do that. But yeah, I just thought the title was really funny. The Witches of Etsy will cast a curse on your ex. So yeah, but I just think I would share this because I posted a post about this to the members, posts, and let's just take this part off. I posted. Well, I suppose we have the title of the newspaper. See, I was thinking, this is the first time I've bought a newspaper in a long time. And I thought, wait a minute, have I ever actually purchased a newspaper? I don't know if I've ever actually purchased a newspaper in my life. I kind of forgot they existed, to be honest with you. I know they're online as well. A lot of people read the articles online. I know that. But actual physical newspapers, like made out of paper, you know? So yeah. So, so yeah, Mary, the name of your ex, come on. We have a cauldron, we have some bay leaves, and we have a pen. And yeah, I thought, why not? You know, I've been covering my, no, I don't want to say anything that might actually get me incriminated. I've been, yeah, signing my ex up to erectile dysfunction newsletters every day since we broke up, you know, just to try to annoy him. I haven't really been doing that. Um, but you can pay someone to just curse them for you. You don't have to get in trouble slashing tires or, you know, doing anything else that might be criminal or negative. You can just get someone else to take the burden off you and put a curse on them, apparently. So yeah, I will not actually, disclaimer, I don't do any of these things that I said that I do, and just now. And I don't curse people, so no, I don't curse people. It is kind of a joke because of the title of the article. So I don't actually do curses, but I just wanted to read it because I just wanted to share it with you guys because so I put a post up about this when the lady who wrote the article called Charlotte got in touch with me about wanting to have a phone call with me about what I do, and she messaged me through my website to ask me if she could just have a phone call interview kind of thing, you know, and I actually have been in an article before, which it's Insider, and I didn't even think if Insider actually have a physical newspaper. I never thought of that. I still have the article, I just rooted it out. I printed this when they first sent it to me. Well, when I first found it, because I was at the Hot Air Balloon Festival when this was years ago. If it has the date on it, let me see. So this was written the 24th of August, 2022. So this one was written in 2022. And this was more about like, it says Etsy stores selling 5G alien products and intergalactic experiences. Um, so that probably was when I was a bit more like, I work for my website, and here on my website, and not really Facebook, but a lot more than Etsy these days. But when this article was written, I was at the Hot Air Balloon Festival, and she sent me a message saying she wants to talk to me about the Octorians and what I do and things like that, like how I work with clients with Octorians and aliens. And so I reply, oh yeah, do you just want to talk about the Octorians, or is there any other like ETs that you're interested in and things like that? And then she doesn't reply back to my reply and says that where is that? Let's see. Venus did not return Insider's request on comment. And I put, yes, I did. It's a lie on my printout, because I actually did respond. I was very open to talking to Insider, but they didn't reply to my reply. So, yeah. That was a very negative article. That was written very negatively about, like, people who believe in extraterrestrials and their ability to connect with us and communicate with us and maybe even help with healing us. It was a very negative article. So yeah. So I went on the post to the members. I was saying, I don't know. Like, I was feeling a little bit kind of, yeah. But please like the video. I tried to jump on like a moment ago, and I was having internet issues, so yeah, I had to restart. So I where was I up to? So when this girl Charlotte, who, there we go, internet issues, I had not to talk to her, but I kind of told myself it feels more like being paranoid that it's going to be, I hit myself in the face, feeling paranoid that it's going to be pretty negative again, and not actually my intuition telling me that I shouldn't. So I was like, you know what, even if it is really negative anyway, I didn't get my chance to talk last time. I didn't get my chance to give an answer or speak. So I decided that whether you're just being paranoid and it's going to be fair, or whether you are intuitively being told not to do it, you should at least have a chance to speak, have a chance to speak. So I decided that I would have the phone call with Charlotte from the Times. And yeah, it was a pretty nice phone call. Like, I did ask like what her interest was in it, and why she felt. I know journalists who work for newspapers. They're not always writing about their own interests. I know they can be told what to write about and things like that. But I was just interested, and it was a nice conversation. And I do have to say, so it is online. The article online has, so this is the picture of me in there. You probably seen that on a thumbnail before. If it's in focus. The online article actually has more pictures of my spells in there, so it has some pictures of actual spells I sent her. But yeah, so she just says like, we're interviewing people who cast spells online, and we just want your just any if you wanted to talk about maybe how you got into it, like maybe the process of casting a spell. Like I did go into quite a lot of detail about how I wound up down this path, and a general spell process that I will do when I am casting spells. But yeah, do bear in mind, the article is the Witches of Etsy will cast a curse on your ex, which is why I've jokingly titled the title that we are going to hex our exes. I'm not actually going to put anybody's ex's name on a bay leaf. I'm not really going to ban it. I don't do that, So yeah. so yeah, sticking with signing him up to a load of newsletters that might fill his inbox and annoy him is, you know, maybe the most I would suggest. And when I said slashing tires at the beginning of the video, it was a joke. It was a joke. No one do that or ever do that, or I do not endorse or encourage criminal activity. It was a joke. You know, and that's an interesting thing actually. Before I do get into the actual article, she did ask me about like hexes, cleanses, curses, and she said because I said, well, actually, it's interesting that you say that because just this morning I had an email from someone asking me if so they asked me if I would put a hex on that X so that he would twist his ankle severely on that day. And I just replied, I was like, no, I would never. And she was like, well, why? What, like, why is that something that you wouldn't do? And I'm like, well, or why, you know, or why don't you do dark magic? Why don't you believe in dark magic? Whatever it was she asked along those lines. And I said, well, you know, it's to me casting a spell that would twist someone else's ankle is literally like me going over to that person and twisting their ankle myself. You know, I might as well be going and doing it myself. I think it's, and I do believe in karma, but I also just generally believe in being a good person anyway. Like, even if there wasn't karma, I think I would still try my best to not do that, you know? Um, yes, this is today's newspaper. Um, uh, Wait, it does have the date. Let me hold it closer. Can you see that? So, yeah, this is today's newspaper. So okay. I won't read the whole article because, you know, when the writing's that small, you don't realise how much writing it actually is. But let's see. So it says, of course, most of my work is done through through my website and things like this. I have an Etsy store, have had an Etsy store more actively in the past. But I think like the reason Etsy witches is such a big thing is because like this whole thing of like Etsy witches cursing Charlie Kirk, you know, and all of that stuff. So I know that was like a big. I think they wrote an article about that in the Times as well when that was occurring. So I think that it gets good engagement probably, you know, from people because yeah, it's just it's an interesting topic, you know, because I was thinking like I know I joked on my short, I was like the ends these redheads are the best, thank you so much. I mean, I dye my hair, but I'm going to take that. um so so yeah, I think it's like an interesting topic because, you know, it has a bit of controversy to it, especially when cursing is involved as well. But even witchcraft in general, when you don't curse, when you don't hex, even if you're just like me and all magic is white, but you do bone reading, you still get a ton of, you know, people of structured, organized religions will still call you the devil and say all of these things, and they can't help but comment a lot of people. So I guess it is quite an engaging topic, although to me it's kind of like seems like quite normal day to day to me, of course. Um, but anyway, so it says, let's see, um, Venus, who sells spells on her website, Secret Frequencies, and also runs an Etsy shop, said I focus on the person's energy. They might give me a name, a date of birth, or a picture to connect with their energies. I'll focus on the intentions and the affirmations they've given me, and I'll channel a symbol, which that's when I explained like my general process generally does involve channeling symbols. You know, I was explaining how I am an eclectic practitioner and I do use things from different kind of religions and practices. That's probably more originated like sigils and things in like chaos magic maybe, but yeah, that's part of like my main spell process is it does tend to have a symbol as opposed to a load of written out words, because when you're channeling someone's energy and all of their desires and affirmations, it's so useful to channel it into just a symbol that can be drawn out very easily by either of you, and you don't have to put like I affirm this and I affirm that and this will happen and that will happen, you know. So then it says let me see. Oh, I can't find it now. Then she's just talking about like my average manifestations. Oh, my average manifestation. She says the average manifestation time it takes for the spell to take effect. And her wares include, and actually, I don't want to say the price because she's taken the price from a very cheap January sale that I had. So I don't want people to be disappointed if they click my website and it's like not quite this cheap. But she's taken the price from, of course, when she messaged me, which was very early January, when there was for a January sale, basically. So they are pretty cheap, and they're probably the cheapest items as well. But she has put negativity cleanser and like things that I do, like negativity cleansers, contact me spells, and things like that. Not strictly saying that I don't do dark magic, I don't think. But I don't think she mentions that, but I guess people would see if they did look for me that I don't do that. Yeah. So, and yeah, the average manifestation time of 2 months. So yeah. So she has put centering it around, and she did say that on the phone, she's centering it around Etsy, even though, you know, I was saying like I do work more through my website, but she has very kindly put, you know, that I have 4.9 stars based on 4,500 customer reviews. So I think that was very nice of her to also add in. And she's included a lot of other people in this, like, of course, it is not just me. There's a lady here who is the bigger picture. She asked if I would mind a photographer coming out, but I think well, it's really best for me not to with our home the way it is at the moment with the kitchen being done, and also that I was going away on the 1st of February and I didn't know how soon this article will be written. So that was a picture I sent in. I did send my picture in. I may link the article so you can see the spell pictures as well, because the online article has a little bit more to it. It has like the spell pictures that I sent her as well. A few of them, 2 of them I think. But yeah, so it is interesting because it talks about me, it talks about this other lady who works more through WhatsApp, and it talks about some other people who do not just spells, but kind of like I think it might be, I didn't read through this part properly, but I think it's spell kits, so it's more like you would do yourself. They send it out to you and you would do it yourself. So it's a little bit varies in what's saying, and of course some of these people do curses as well, dark magic, but also it talks about, she actually has someone who has had a negative review, not with me. Neither of the reviews are from someone who worked with me, and it states that here. But she does a negative review from someone who had a bad experience with an online witch. And she has a positive review with someone who had a positive experience with an online witch. So really, I just wanted to talk more about how, well, I wanted to talk about it because I'm quite grateful that it was like, if you were here earlier, I was talking about this article that was written about me, and this again, this isn't just about me, but in this one, like, I am mainly focused on in this one, and it's funny because this one is not about witchcraft. This is about people who work with like, people who work with starseeds and people who work with 5G. Like, you know, people who sell things for like 5G protection, so like orgone towers and things. And even though even though this article was very, very negative, like it was clearly supposed to be negative, like this, I feel like this one's very unbiased, where like this recent one is very unbiased, where it says, you know, they do this, they have these reviews, they has, you know, a client who's also used a similar type of spellcaster, and one has had a positive review, one has had a negative. So it's quite unbiased in that sense. Whereas this one, which was about the more alien 5G type things, they were not positive at all. It really, certainly was. I really wish I did get to speak to them. But I suppose I enjoyed the Hot Air Balloon Festival. But yeah, they're talking about like QAnon and anti-vaccine. And, are you allowed to say that still? I didn't think there was a time you weren't allowed to say that. But I'm just saying what the article was talking about. I'm not talking about it myself. But and none of my things have ever included that anywhere. I don't talk about, and especially condone conspiracy things on my actual own YouTube channel. But on this one, they actually do have where they have the actual pictures from my store, and it is it shows when I didn't have that many at the time, but 1,767 5-star reviews. So I'm like, you can write all bad you want about me if you're going to post how many 5-star reviews I have. So I always kept that. I don't know if Insider do print out like printed newspaper, but I always kept that because I thought it's kind of funny how they tried to be quite negative, but then they posted my 5-star reviews and how many there were. So I just always found that a little bit funny. Hello, welcome, guys. Just don't put me in the freezer. I won't. I don't do that. I don't do that. So yeah, but that's it. I might link the when I jump off, I might link the the website article if you do want to read it. I know not many of you are from the UK. Not many of you are from the UK. So probably not going to buy a paper copy of this. But I'm probably just going to like clip out my part here and just like kind of keep hold of it, because I actually am quite happy with it. I think it's fair. I think it's a fair, if you believe, you believe. If you don't believe, you don't believe. And it has a positive review, it has a negative review, Make your mind up for yourself more. It's more the kind of energy I feel from it than it's totally just trying to say that we're like crazy. So yeah. So I just wanted to share that because I posted that as a members only post originally when I first posted it, and you guys were saying to post it. Show you the paper. It's the Times. So it's too close. See it? It's today's paper. And I've shown this a few times now, but there's me. On the web article, I'm the top picture. I'm like the cover photo on the news one. But I assume this lady must be the one who, because she said to me, we have a photographer going out to someone's house now, so we don't need them to come to you anymore. So I assume she had the photographer come, and that's why she's got the big, like, more professional. This was taken on a phone. Although phone cameras are just as good as normal cameras now. But yeah, I'm kind of glad. I don't think I could have. I don't think I could have had someone come here. I wouldn't have been able to say no, but I don't think I could have had someone come here with the current state of the house. Still in the middle of the kitchen, being done. So, of course, that won't be tomorrow. So that we may do an early stream tomorrow. So yeah, so I may do like an earlier stream tomorrow. I think I already posted about that because there won't be loads of loud noise. So yeah, and we will be able to do earlier stream. So and when I say early tomorrow, probably will be quite early, like I did post that, I think between like 11 and 1, 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Because it would be noisy because and I may be out for a little bit in the afternoon, and I'm also quite booked up. So yeah. So the stream tomorrow, if we do it, which it seems like we will, it will be pretty early. So let me just read the comments. Sorry, I've been chatting on, haven't I? Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for BT. Oh yeah, so a hex is like a curse. Yeah, sorry. I put hex because it rhymes with X. So I just thought like, it's it rhymes. Nice to see you, Tara. Crossing the Great Right. Thank you, Sadia. LP, hello, welcome. Tara says I'll have to watch this again. I've been packing boxes to move out of the. Oh, great! So you're moving out of that negative place, so to somewhere much better, I hope. Um, oh no! So guys, the curse hex or X's is just a joke. It's a joke. Please, please. If you listen to anything from the stream, because the title of the article is "The Witches of Etsy will cast a curse on your ex." It's a joke. I'm not really doing anything. Oh, this is like I just set them up like as kind of like just to make light of the title of the article. I don't, never have, never will do dark magic. So just so you know, I was making a joke at the start. I was like, who wants me to put the X's initial on my bay leaf, But I wasn't really gonna do it. So I was just talking about earlier when she did ask me into the phone call interview for the article, um, about that, and she said, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it like a curse? And I was just explaining about this person that wanted me to curse their ex-boyfriend so he would twist his ankle. And I feel like me cursing someone so that happens is the same as me just doing it. Like I might as well just go and physically do it to them, which you would never do. You would never do that. So how can you justify it? You can't justify that. So, or I can't justify that. Maybe some people can. Maybe some people would, but not me. So it's not for me. Yeah, Wiccan ritual. Yeah, I mean, I know Wicca. um, um, it's actually I was. No, I don't know if I should talk about that, but yeah, I do. I've studied a lot of spiritual practices, religious beliefs. Delved into a lot of different religious beliefs, spiritual practices, and all of that. But I'm just an eclectic practitioner, so I don't strictly stick to like Wicca or Christianity, like to put two total opposite things out there. But I don't stick to like one thing. I explore and I use what works for me, and so I suppose you would call me an eclectic practitioner. Um, but yeah, there's definitely things you can do where I feel like there's things you could do where you're almost like almost like a prayer to karma, or like a you know if someone truly deserves that karma, then I do believe they should get that, and I don't see any issue in putting like energy or prayer into that. But the thing is, like, someone online could easily say to you like that this person is deserving, and they might not be deserving, and I'm sure once you connect to that energy, you may realize they're not deserving, or you may realize why they're not deserving yet, or something like that. Like there's so many different things that can happen. So many different things that can happen when you work with people in person or online. You connect with their energy, and maybe you might see that a path's just not meant to be, or maybe you might see that the person was totally right, and maybe someone really does deserve something. But it's up to you then, I suppose, where you will go and what you will do and all that. So I think I'm just blabbing on now, but that used to be a thing that happened in the 80s. If somebody really started something with you, you'd go fight them. Now people have some desire for a social revenge online. prefer to be antisocial and engage with negative people. Yes. I mean, I think, if two people agree to a fight, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like the thing about it is, I think a lot of people just want revenge in their own anger, and I'm not a totally love and light person in the sense of like, I think that people who are too uh, kind of like too open-hearted or too like we always say here, you will often get your kindness taken as weakness and things like that if you're too um open-hearted is like the best way I can say it. But I think a lot of people focus on the revenge as opposed to revenge in a negative sense, as opposed to like working on yourself and just rising above it. Which I suppose that does sound like a love and light thing to say. It's like rise above it, just rise above it. But I think it's putting more energy into making yourself better is better than putting your more energy into bringing them down. So like the phrase would be, success is the best revenge. Your success is the best revenge against them. They've lost you out their life, you're doing great and they're not in it, you know? So yeah, like that. I do have revenge burn because maybe it's just in me. I just feel it rebounds. Well, yeah. To be honest, like being here, like as I know, I think I probably talk about like the yin yang too much, but you know, we're all here to be a positive and negative part of people's journeys, and I think that's what a lot of people don't really realize is that there's always going to be people on earth who you will be a negative part of their karma. There's always going to be. No one comes here completely angelic and is only a positive part to everybody's journey. Even if it's just like accidents where you're causing, you're not actively being negative, but you might, I don't know, crash into someone's car and ruin their day. I'm not going to do any extreme ones, but crash into their car and ruin their day, or I don't know, um, walk into them and spill your drink all over them, or something like that, like where you're inconveniencing people and things like that. Sometimes that happens because you're supposed to be a bad part of that karma, like you're supposed to ruin their day, you're supposed to, you know. So I think sometimes we can beat ourselves up a little bit about if we have blown up on someone or being quite angry and shouted at people, we can feel bad. But you're never going to always be the good karma for everyone all the time. It just doesn't happen. You're always going to be negative karma for some people here. We're all learning lessons, good and bad, and we're all part of both of those things, good and bad lessons for everybody. Um, you know, so so yeah. But I was just I was supposed to be reading a comment and then I just went off. My revenge is healing and learning. Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, but don't repress it. Healing and learning is great. Um, and especially if you can really, but if you're suppressing things, then I suppose you can always do like intentional meditations to release anything that you might be repressing, and also creativity is a great way if you do have stored up anger that you're not addressing because it might be subconscious or you're just not addressing it consciously. Creativity is always a good one for that. So if you do think maybe you might have some suppressed, maybe tapping a little bit more into the sacral is a good idea. The creative energy. Tara says two don't have to agree. They're really honest. Well, yeah, I guess. Which is why you watch some on YouTube. You'll laugh and cry and be scared and be happy. Street fights are totally unpredictable. Yeah, I guess. I thought you were talking more about like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about fighting and getting into street fights. Luckily for me, fortunately for myself, I don't know anything about that. But but I do assume that sometimes people do agree, you know, to have to duel, you know. Um, the end, having to get revenge has shown them that they were successful in going at you, which is a weakness. Well, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, absolutely. Leon Aspora? I don't know how you say that, but hello and welcome. Avoiding a fight and ignoring the situation is often a good solution, but not always. Revenge, yeah, revenge would definitely come from ego, I think. Um, yeah, and I think as well, like, I don't know. I don't know the kind of. I don't want to say anything bad because, we all go through difficult things, and I certainly don't judge people. Like, when people ask me cast a curse, I don't. I'm not judging them or thinking like, oh, they're bad people for saying that to me. I get that, like, maybe that person really has done something really, really awful and terrible. Um, which is not good. Certainly, that's awful. But I do think like the headspace you have to be into, you know, decide that that's your best course of action, or decide that that is a course of action, or something. I don't know. Um, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. It's a difficult one when it comes to karma, and the funny thing is, like, not everyone believes in karma, but I just don't understand how. I don't understand how you cannot believe in it personally myself. Um, I just don't know. I just don't know. Because, I mean, even if you don't believe in it, it's like, unless every single thing that happens in your life is totally neutral, then it's either going to be positive or negative. So, even if it's like we accidentally have karma, it's like a flip of a coin, isn't it? You might think a lot of things are neutral, but I would rather a neutral thing than a bad thing. So I'd almost say a neutral thing happening to me is positive. Um, if it goes one way or the other, would it just naturally balance itself out, even if you were kind of more of a sciencey type believer? I don't know why I do science. I believe science is kind of like a real thing, kind of like a real thing. um, it's difficult for me to really express what I really feel because you know um I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get like veer completely off topic to like science, but like maybe that's like for another stream, a different channel, a different stream, not a different channel. But yeah, so I literally just wanted to read like a little bit in there. I mean, there is a bit more to the article, but that's the main bit, really, that's pertaining to my specific conversation. Um, and it does, and like I said, I do think they want to mostly center around Etsy, due to that being like a big thing after like Charlie Kirk. So, and I'm not laughing at the death of another person. I just mean the fact that it's become such a big thing about people cursing people online because people were cursing him. It's just a funny situation. Like, it's a funny way for it to get into the mainstream. Like, not a funny way. I hope you know what I mean. I hope. Oh my gosh, put the shovel down, Venus. But yeah, I just think that was a really very strange way for this whole world to get more into the mainstream, is what I mean. Like, it's just kind of crazy how those things happen. But yeah. Um, oh, sorry, I'm just totally ignoring the charts. Avoidance, yeah, avoidance of vulnerability. Already living their karma, yes. Going straight to anger rather than mourning. Feeling the experience out, but it's the grief experience. Definitely feel I'm paying the debt of my youth. Oh, really? I only just turned 30 recently. Bear with me one moment. Um, yeah, so, well, I'm sorry to read that. I'm sorry to read that. You know, even if we feel like we, you know, when things happen to me, I do think, like, you know, sometimes I do think, oh, that's my bad karma from doing that, or that's my bad karma from doing that, you know, and even so, even when you rationalize it to yourself, or you say, maybe this is bad karma from a past life, you know, maybe it's just fine, maybe it's all fine. It can still be difficult when you're actually going through it, especially when on the most part, I'm sure you're not deserving of bad things, you know. In my situation, a lot of the harassment I receive is that I'm the only white guy in my neighborhood who is not a frat boy. New rules in this neighborhood: only frat boys sorority. Oh really? That's like really weird, kind of like clicky, like high school clicky type stuff, right? Um, Strange. I never get that. Like I never get that. Like even at the time, but like I seriously don't get it. Like as we grow, people are still like that in fully adult life. You know, positive karma has to have an altruistic layer to me, though, because if you do things with the intention of good karma, so yes, if it's like I suppose, and I think this is where there's layers to it as well, because if you're doing tons of good things just to be seen as good, then obviously, like you're saying, the intention deep down is just your ego, so it's for the wrong intentions, so it's not totally good, but it's still if you've rarely influenced, you've got have to think as well about the emotions of the people that you're helping and the positive domino effects to them. So I feel like there could be negative karma to some degrees and in varying degrees depending on what it is. But also, for example, like giving to charity, I think is one of the ones where it's like that because a lot of charities are, you know, a very small percentage of the money goes to the actual charity anyway. And I think when people are quite ignorant to that fact and they're not really looking into the charities they're giving to anyway, so you've already got the fat cats at the top who should be getting their negative karma, and then you have these people who are just doing it to look good, then I think that does encompass a lot of negative karma with it. But I don't know, I suppose it varies as well on your I don't know. It's totally varies on like your beliefs and everything like that because there's so many. Like another one I don't know if I should really go into it, but with like the homeless as well. It's like giving a lot of money to a homeless person. You could be changing their lives. You could be doing something really great, or you could be giving a load of money to drug organizations. Because although I'm not stereotyping all homeless people, I'm just saying there's whether I got them onto the street or whether they do it to cope with being on the street, a very vast majority of them do something, whether it's alcohol, whether it's harder drugs, um, and I, I don't think by saying a vast majority that I'm being judgmental. I, I don't believe that. So like someone might feel like they should get good karma from giving them money, whereas I would probably feel like there might be a risk in there, a risk of the domino effect of that might actually be pretty negative. Whereas feeding them, it's a different story. Um, but yeah, I get what you're saying. The performative side of it is definitely karma humbles you with a lesson of your wrongdoing, yes. And I try to welcome it like if I'm truly deserving of, if I truly deserve stubbing my toe on that corner cabinet, then I will take that negative karma. But I don't think I did deserve it, you know? Um, Indian landlords, Chinese landlords, mob landlords, gas. You'll experience a similar thing in a different way to either build empathy, it's a witchy time. I do get the vibe that Charlie and the far right is to cause a tower to structures. Possibly. I mean, I think a lot of things that um, a lot of extreme things that happen do end up having that effect. And um, yeah, I mean, I do. I know I always say like, oh, I don't talk about conspiracies, I don't talk about politics or anything like that on here. I do try to dodge away from those things, which is why I do want to do the Discord calls, because we could delve a little bit more deeper into things like that. But um, but yeah, I think things that are going on in the world are very interesting, and there could have been a lot of things that have happened, you know, in the US and other maybe other parts of the world. Yeah, likely other parts of the world have like a bit of um a lot of a domino effect going on. You know, a lot of things like yeah, no, I don't want to go down that road. There's other things I would say, but I'm not going to. Immigrants have pressured the whole neighborhoods. Real estate mobbing. Billionaire. Oh, really? So it's being like gentrified, I guess is that the term? I don't know. Um, That's interesting. So LP, it's quite an interesting like view and interesting things that you are mentioning. And would be nice to maybe get you on the Discord group chat at some point. You know, when people do want to, I really appreciate people coming in just to chat. You know, and not just always only for reading streams. So it would be nice to build up a bit of a Discord group and just chat more openly. It takes real estate mobbing to get a group of criminal landlords to purchase the whole south side of the street. Then Skyline Property Management can offer the homeowners to purchase when the evil landlords are all in agreement to sell. Yeah, and there's a lot of colluding that goes on, I guess, to make these things happen. I guess a scale or spectrum, the purest intentions brings the purest karma. Yeah, so if it's intention and like you're saying, so it's what you're doing and the intention behind it. That's obviously what you want. But I would definitely rather someone be trying to do the best things with maybe not the best intentions than people who are just outwardly doing totally the wrong things and knowing they're doing it. You know. Um, but yeah, it's totally fake. And the thing with that is like you could be attracted to that person or um, either romantically or as a friendship because you think they're a good person and that really speaks to you, and then you might find out at their core that really would just stab you in the back to get ahead, and then that will be a bit, you know, you've trusted them and let them in, and that could be a bit shattering. So ultimately, at some point, if they're only doing it to outwardly look good, they're going to fall at some point. They're going to show their true colours at some point, and then that's when the negative karma would come, I suppose. Yeah, to research the charities beforehand, absolutely. It's just about, so what I would always ask is like the percentage that goes to the actual cause. Um, and when they try to stop me on the streets, like the charitable people, you know, they're trying to like canvass for like charity in the streets, and I'm like this against the wall trying to get past them. I will just say, well, how much does your CEO earn again? And I'm like, yeah, go ask him for some money for charity, not me just walking down the street. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, and things totally change. So, like, they build a high rise. You know, you would go there in a few years' time and you won't even notice. You wouldn't notice the place, you know? Um, I think that the like, just normal neighborhood should be maintained better in most places, most locations, because it's, I don't know, it's like, you have these really great, amazing areas that are really looked after and they're obviously like more wealthy areas. And then sometimes you have these more, I don't know if you guys call them like council areas, but that they can just be so run down, and it's like, I get that not all the people who live there have the ability or the means, the money to like make the outside of their home look nice, maybe, but at least like the public places, the public outdoor spaces, like should be looked after in some way. And that's where you know that like your council tax and these taxes aren't going to the right places that they should be, because like parks and places like that in these areas used to be nice, you know. I mean, even the big charities, infamously, there was a charity dinner with billionaire that ended up being a Ponzi scheme. Oh my gosh. I can imagine. I mean, probably a lot of them are like that. Oh really? I didn't know. I didn't know that about Trump. I don't know too much about um well any American presidents or anything like that, but that's not good. No, no, it's okay. No, it's okay for you to say it. Just I have to be careful what I say, I guess. Um, Donating to them, yeah, and it's like you were saying with the like it's the opposite side, isn't it? It's like we were talking about people who are being really good, but with the intention for it to look good, and then you have people who are um thinking they're being really good, but really they might be giving to a charity that's like, I'm not saying they're not being good because they just don't know, but I think that we should be very careful about where we give money to and who we give money to. So it is, in a way, it is our responsibility, you know. So yeah, I think definitely we do need to be careful about that, because everything that we do, giving money, receiving money, all these things, signing documents, it is all our responsibility at the end of the day. So if we're continuously and continuously giving money to a charity and we don't barely know anything about them, you know, and there's always going to be big corporations and big companies can always brush as much as they want under the rug. So I don't think it's as bad that way as it is the other way. But because if they're brushing something under the rug, you're not ignorant, because the information isn't there for you to find. If the information isn't out there for you to find, you're not ignorant, because you know ignorance is the you not being able to find it. So I guess some places and some people probably hide it enough for us to never know, you know, the truth. Whereas that would be more like niches, where if it was hidden enough and you just fully believed it was a good charity, you're not necessarily ignorant because there's no information for you to find. Hello, Fire and Water. Sorry, it probably took me a while to get there. Even with forgiveness, I tend to do intention versus action. Yeah. Tara says, feel free not to answer this. Are you renting your living space or do you own your house? Interested in renovations and construction? Or are they renovating there? Well, I am renting at the moment. Well, I say renting. I'm living with family at the moment. So I'm technically renting because I do pay, but it's not like a it's not like a setup kind of thing, and that's because of um breaking up with my boyfriend. You know, um, usually I've actually never lived alone. So the only times I've ever lived alone are when I've had a partner. So generally I will move in with a friend or in with a family member when I first break up, because um, well, because it's becoming a pattern now that I break up with people like that. I don't know if it's me. Maybe there's something about me, but yeah. Um, so I end up going to stay with someone like temporarily, and then I set the intention to be single for a very long time. So I start making plans about, I'm going to finally live on my own. I'm going to get my own place, and I'm going to um, speak to a mortgage advisor or maybe rent somewhere. And I have these ideas, and then I get into another relationship, and then I move in with them. But yeah, I don't think it would be happening quite like that this time. So, but yeah, I didn't know why I'm giving you my whole life story. I living with family at the moment. Yeah, trying to understand empathetically the way someone might behave a certain way, and also as well, it's like me feeling like um, we should all be able to be self-governing because we should all understand what's right and wrong, but actually we do have like sociopaths and psychopaths and things like that. Not only people who, you know, um, you might have someone who is quite normal in that way, in like a, I don't know if you could say neurotypical type of way, but they have some level of anger issues to where they've snapped, not meant, only meant to hurt someone, not actually, kill them. And and then they've begun like, oh, self-preservation, I need to lie now, and all of that. There's like those types of people who are who do bad things, where it's like in the heat of something, Or it could even be opportunists, I guess, where like they don't go out with the intention to steal something, but someone's left their window wide open with a laptop there, and it's like that's still bad. It's still bad. Both of those things are still bad, but they're not. That they probably have the ability to come to be good people if society was was better. But then when we have the things that are like psychopathy and sociopathy, um, and those kind of things where they might actually be conditions of the mind, um, we may not be fully able to govern our own selves just yet at this current state of like how the world is. So trying to understand empathetically the reason other people do things or why they are the way they are can sometimes be a true mind bender, because if you just don't live your life through that lens that they do, it can just be like, how do they not feel empathy? How do they not feel like, they upset people? Like, how can they, it's just one of those things. Um, uh, this is so interesting. I feel like I'm surrounded by people with a mask in my physical world. Like they're pretending, like they're not, like they're fake. The weird thing is, the fated karmic events written in our story unavoidable because it's kind of, we're all projections of each other, our deepest insecurities. Yeah, and we get attracted and repelled. Like we gravitate towards certain people and things, and we were repelled from certain people and things, by our higher self or by our guides or by whatever it might be, um, for a purpose and reason as well. So, you know, it's like even if something isn't totally predetermined, it's still one of those things that could be like a really high possibility because you've always had that draw in your soul before you came here to gravitate there or to be repelled from there. Poor maintenance is usually a sign of many landlords and rentals in the neighborhoods. Yeah, and I think there was a big thing with like Airbnbs, wasn't there? Like everyone was putting their place on in like quite nice scenic areas. Like they were putting their places on Airbnbs, which was, I don't know, having some impact on the people who originally lived there and were from there being able to then buy homes, because people weren't like selling the homes or renting the homes out for reasonable prices anymore, because they could sell them a week stay for more than they would probably get for a month from the renters. So yeah, all of these things are things that um, impact us, but I suppose in the way of a society we do have to find a way to like navigate and work through these things. And I'm not saying like, oh, just let billionaires buy everywhere and then just deal with it. I'm not saying it like that, but I just mean like, um, if there's things that we can do, if there's even, I suppose there's a lot of people who do, actually not a lot of people, probably not a lot of people, but like commune type things, like the hippie kind of things, where they'll actually buy like, they'll all get together and be in like a community, and I suppose a cult. No, not a cult, but we'll buy this like really beautiful big house, but we'll all live in it and all like share and Um, but as friends, though, I don't just mean like. Well, I suppose it depends how big it gets. It will be more like a community type thing, living. But I think maybe that could work into some degree in some ways, um, depending on, again, it's like hierarchical structure, isn't it? If there's kind of agreement that there's like a level of equality laid out, and not like, you know, come to my um you know, come to my house and you can all live here, but you have to go to work for me and give me all your money, and I'll just sit here and meditate and be your cult leader, you know? One day. Reflections, projections, rejections, and connections. I'm going to think of something that rhymes. The weird thing is, what is truth? What is truth? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, because it is an interesting concept, because there's, of course, there's truth of like this. There's, if every single thing was like constantly filmed all the time, of course there's a truth of like what physically happened. But you also, I think that where there's those other things like how people are influenced, manipulated, or whatever it might be, how what someone else perceives, you know, because it's like the eyewitness testimony thing where both people can have like a slightly different retelling of like a story, um, of an event that occurred, even though they were actually both there. They just kind of remember it differently. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's what you're really getting at with the truth thing, but again, it's something that I do think has some layers to it. Where I think that there's some leeway in terms of like your truth and my truth, but especially where a lot of things in this world are opinions. Like, I think it's perfectly fine for someone to say that they believe the Earth is flat. Like, I do believe that, and I I get why a lot of people ridicule it and laugh at it, but at the same time, they don't have any science background or anything like that, and they're just going off. They're just believing someone else that they've heard, just like, you know, we've believed what we've heard, and you know, they just chose to believe a YouTube video, whereas we chose to believe our schools or whatever it might be, you know. So I yeah, you know, I don't know if I'm if I'm rambling on that topic, but I get what you mean. It's almost like, you know, as well, like God, you know. Um, I work with many different people of different religious beliefs and backgrounds. The main ones will probably be um, like spiritual, like open-minded spiritual Muslim, uh, Hindu, and Buddhist would be like the main ones that I work with. But but you know, when I say God to them, I mean, you know, how you perceive God, how God, you know, however that comes to you. We're both talking about the same thing or energy, we're just perceiving it differently. So, yeah, what is truth in that respect, I guess? The way I look at the way energy works is the sacrifice is involved. The sacrifice can be constructive, positive, destructive, negative. Both comes with results, some are quicker, but some are stronger. Sorry, I've got my sniffling, by the way. Are you talking about like the magic, like casting and things like that? Yeah. Yes. Breakups suck. Well, I don't know. You know, the past two partners that I've broken up with, it needed to happen, and I'm very like not emotional, like I'm not emotional, like I don't shift between emotions, and I'm not like I don't cry at films and then I'm super, you know, jumping around if I'm excited. I'm not like that. But in a relationship, I rarely let my emotions for the person. Like I'm more of a be in a relationship kind of person than a have close friends kind of person. Um, I could happily be in a relationship and see like the friends. So I do have some friends, but I just don't feel like super close with any of them. And fair, two of them have like babies now, so you know, it's difficult to be super close with people when they're that, you know, preoccupied and busy. But um, I have like friends like dotted around, but I don't feel like I'm super close with any of them. But Amaya, thank you for the super sticker. I greatly appreciate that. But I feel like kind of I'm more of a relationship person. And when I'm in a relationship, I my intuition tells me if it's not right, and I let my emotion overcloud that. So I have definitely my last two relationships, I I had a great time and a lot of it was positive, and you know I'm not saying they were bad people or anything, but I I definitely dragged it out for longer than it should have been dragged out for because I wasn't listening to my own intuition, which is crazy for me to say because in any other area of my life, any other area, no matter what it is, I go 100% with my intuition at all times. But when it comes to relationships, I feel like I still haven't fully learned that. Like I just let my emotions get too I let my feelings for them get too in the way, and I'm like, no, 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 everything's great, you know. Um, and I shouldn't. I rarely shouldn't. I should. I'm not saying if you get like one little intuitive thought, it might not be right to like, you know, rush breaking up with someone. But I definitely wouldn't. You know, and I did used to say if we would have like a falling out, I would the last relationship I remember quite a lot. I would say I feel like I'm just delaying the inevitable, and I very seriously was, and you know now I'm just like like my last relationship wasn't that long, but we did have some good times, but it's just the fact that like I talk about intuition and I still haven't really learned to listen to it when it comes to guys. Um, I have in terms of like going on dates or like um, who I will spend time with or give my sacral energy to, shall I say? I've definitely I've definitely always keep my intuition on that. It's like in the beginning, before any emotions, if there's super strong intuition, I'm 100% with it. But if it's not super strong in the beginning and I'm kind of, you know, oh, this is okay, it's going okay, I think it gets to a point where I just start ignoring my intuition totally, you know? So I'm always like okay in the beginning, but then I get past the point. Tara says, I hope you get your. Well, I will. I will get my own place. I will. It's just, yeah. I will. I'm looking. I don't think I'm rushing into anything else now. So I should get my own place. Um, Abby says the universe may be testing you with these relationships. Well, yeah, I think that I do believe that there's lessons in all relationships, and I even like, you know, the relationships I've had, I believe that I've learned lessons in all the relationships that I've been in. I say all, like it's I've not been in very many relationships. I I do believe that learned lessons in all relationships I've been in. I do believe that there's a purpose for all of them. Specifically with um, me and where I'm being specifically guided to at like certain points of time. When I think about places I was and things I did at certain points of time and how they were actually a factor into that. And if I wasn't with them, that might not have happened, you know, when you think back. So I understand, like when I look back at it, I understand why. But also like let's just have like can I have my forever relationship now? That would be nice. the universe may be testing with you with these relationships. It's asking you, are you sure you want to be single? Yeah, it's very difficult. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I'm a Libra. I'm quite a, I don't want to say bold. I'm quite flirty. I'm quite a flirty person, and I'm not. Yeah, I'm quite flirty and like outgoing and kind of person. So I think that even in the times where I won't go, because I've met people online dating before, but even in times when I won't do that, I still end up meeting someone accidentally because I just can't help but make it a bit obvious that, I have a bit of interest there. And Firewater says, I have been watching a lot of shorts on the Tudors and how history is engraved in certain cultures. Is that what is this? What I don't know what that word is if it's not engraved, but I don't think engraved makes sense. So I'm not sure what you said. I'm sorry. I'm probably just dumb. Sid, hello and welcome. Aniket, hello and welcome. Yeah, I deleted it because I was buffering on the first one, and what I think I found is when I buffer on the first one, the second time I come on tends to be better. I don't know. I'll watch this back and see. Um, I have seen so many times in Canada how people would say things in person that they wouldn't say in public because they would be persecuted if they expressed their true thoughts and feelings. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there's, I don't know, is that like a, do you mean now? I don't know, I think like the kind of like ability to say whatever we want and not be like I don't know. I don't know. I suppose it's like that thing of like free speech versus hate speech. It's, it's like obviously we should be able to say whatever we want, but then also we should also have our empathy behind that as well. Um, History is too cyclical. Yeah, yeah. Well, because we don't learn. We'll always go through cycles. If you can't learn from the past, you'll always go through cycles, and it's like that. It's like that phrase of like you know, um, what is that? It's like a small person learns from their own mistakes, and a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And I think as a whole human race, we're not quite wise yet because we haven't learned from the mistakes of others. You know, on a wide scale. I'm sure we've all done it in our own small lives at some point, but owning your own home is very important because making the decisions you want to regarding your living space is extremely important. I don't want some other person making decisions about my living space. Um, yeah. Um, Sorry, I apologize. Um, yeah, I guess. It is kind of. I mean, it is kind of scary. Like I'm old, I am old, so I guess like I don't know. I guess like I don't know. I don't want to, I don't want to get like depressing or anything on the stream because I'm not someone who always, I never always to get married or always wants to have children. That was never something like, especially marriage. I think like I don't think there's any real point in marriage unless, um, you know, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like if the other person was bothered about it, but it tends to be women who are bothered about it. It's like I don't know. But then there's also that thing of like I don't know. I guess there's benefits to it, but the benefits the benefits to marriage are all like um government related, which is just like so stupid, I don't know if anybody if anybody likes Wayne's World, the film, where he says, "Do you think you and Cassandra will ever get married?" And he's like, "Marriage is punishment for shoplifting in some countries." It's like that wasn't an American accent, but yeah, it's like, um, why do we do it? Why do we do it? Because I'm certainly not like, oh, I have to wear a beautiful big white dress and eat a disgusting cake with loads of disgusting icing on it. I like cake. I don't like icing. But yeah. Wine though, wine's okay. Um, but yeah. I forgot what I was even getting to. Oh, the own living space thing. I know. Yeah, and I kind of want a pet. I'm getting to the point where maybe it's because I'm getting old and it's like, okay, Venus, you soon no husband, no kids. It's time for a cat. It's about that time. Um, So I don't know. Um, but yeah, I've never been particularly bothered. Like, if I had a child, like if I got pregnant in any of my relationships, I would have kept it. I'm not like, I like children. I love children. I love babies. They're so cute. I do love them, and I totally would be okay with that. But it's just not something that where it's like has to be part of my life path. Like I don't need that. I don't need it. It would be nice, maybe, but I'm not. You know, I don't mind. I could go either way. I could live the rest of my days carefree, or I could have children, and I will be happy either way. Um, so yeah, but the own living space, I don't know. I think for me, it's more about like, for me, it's like this country. So the UK, I live in the UK, and where I don't know if it's the worst country for mortgages and like house prices, probably not the worst country. But, like, there are tons of better countries, even just in Europe, where you could live for better, get a better mortgage, get better pricing on all of these things. Like, I think that's one thing that's kind of halted me, even though it was like short increments between relationships. It was the real like issue with me. But even now, it's like I I don't even want to buy a house here because like I I'm kind of bored of England anyway. Like I've been here my whole life. I always wanted to live in a different country when I was older. When I was younger, I always wanted to live in a different country when I was older. And I would rather live somewhere where it's just better value, and like and warmer weather. Like I've never wanted to live in England forever just because of the weather purely. But like our like especially like I think there's a lot of things here that are fine. Like like I don't really think like a lot of people complain about the price of things, the price of foods. But I think like I was a health freak for a very long time. And I still like to eat the more higher priced healthy food. So the price of a lot of things that people do, car, like my car, like I could have gotten a very cheap car that wasn't expensive to run and didn't cost a lot of money. But I just really love the Mercedes, so I do have that thing where if something's valuable to me, I don't mind paying for it. But the mortgage situation here, I don't know if it's valuable enough to me when I don't really want to be living in England anyway. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, that was my rant on that one. Sorry. Fire Water Says, which is a bit of a shame because it looks like we haven't learned anything from the past. Yeah, we tend to learn things as individuals, but not as a society and as like a human race, which we really need to do that. We really need to come together a lot more. And I don't even mean in like a political, like a, you know, like in a monetary way where like, oh, we should just all be on like the, that same income kind of. I'm not talking about like that, but I mean, can we for like emotionally is like the main thing we need to do, you know? Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with LP saying there will never be a complete global awakening. I kind of agree with that in terms of like this planet because I think our souls eventually, like the people we are right now, will ascend to higher levels and higher planes, and we'll go to different star systems and things like that. But I don't. I think that this planet will probably always have that dualistic and that, like you're saying, backwards and forwards kind of thing, because it's probably always going to be a place for learning. It's probably always going to be that way, and that's probably why everything's rigged the way that it is. Like I don't think that there's no chance, but if there is a chance, it's certainly not within our lifetime. Like you get a lot of people like in the conspiracy or like awakening communities who will say like that these things are coming and that like it, these all these lists are going to be produced and there's different uh billionaires and celebrities that are waking up and everything is going to come out and there's going to be arrests and like all that stuff, and it's just like, well, that's a fairy tale. you know, if it did happen, it wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be like, oh, the leaders are going to tell us everything's perfect, and then we're all suddenly going to become perfect. It wouldn't happen like that, and I do think that we are a far way off it right now. I don't mean to be. I don't mean to be negative to say that it couldn't happen in our lifetime. I suppose that's a pretty negative thing for positive Venus to say, but I don't know. I just feel like from ex- external governance to self governance is such a huge gap to me, and I feel like self governance is like the kind of big part of living in a actually peaceful and actually, because we have to be able to be fully responsible for ourselves to be fully responsible for the whole of humanity. Like every person has to. If you have to seek external governance for your own self, how will you help to raise other people? Or, I don't know. But I just feel like maybe we won't get to something like that in our lifetime. I do feel like we're a bit far off that. I have heard from spiritual people that eventual people we are supposed to be climbing higher in the spiral, so we approach them from a higher and higher perspective. Yeah, and I do agree with that. I do agree with that like spiral thing, and that we like maybe the lessons are gradual and we go up and up and up gradually. I just think that the time frame of it being like within the next 10 years, within the next 20 years, it seems too soon to me. Don't forget, people in when I was a child or even before then, people when like my mother was a child, probably, were saying that we'll have flying cars by this time, and it's people always overestimate whether it's what technology we will or what technology will be out to the public, and and how and it's good. It's good for people to be optimistic. It's good for people to have optimistic view that we'll be better than where we will be. I'd rather think we'll be somewhere better than we are than like feel doomed and feel like it's just be this pure like what's it called, dystopia. I also think that's not a healthy view to have as well. So we need to balance that. But thank you, Maya. I greatly appreciate you. History is Groundhog Day. Oh, let's not go that far. Um, a commune would only be as good as its people living there, and there are people who will try to destroy anything good bad actors would want to apply to be in your commune. Yeah, I get it. I know, and these are the holes in everything. Like there's holes in everything. It's like it's like saying capitalism is perfect, or um, um, I can't think of it. I guess it's because I'm trying not to say something that's super, you know, like a political thing, like saying the right is perfect, saying the left is perfect, saying whatever is perfect, you know. Nothing is perfect, but fine. If you don't want to be in my cult commune, the cult of um, EXES witches, then fine. Um, I didn't want you to be in it anyway. Um, LP, it's like Jack and the Beanstalk though. Jesus, at the top of the spiral. Oh, okay. Everyone's awake then who is if everyone's awake then who is dreaming? Oh, yeah. I mean, I like both. I like being awake, but you've got to dream. You've got to dream. We're all dreaming a collective dream, like an inception. Um, if it was collective, actually, okay, then I'll do my best to make it a lucid dream. And I'll solve all of those problems for you. So come join my cult. LP says the world runs on chaos. Us resolving issues is our purpose, but the scale has the balance between mystery and truth, question and answers. Yeah, I do think that's where we're at. And the winners write the history books. Yes, of course, of course, of course. Yeah, we we are human, and I think that sometimes we don't give ourselves credit with that, you know, because it's like it's like the thing of the karma, like going back to the karma, like, you know, no one's going to be perfect all the time. We are human, and we have to give ourselves that. Johanna, Lila, hello and welcome. I'm so sorry. Not reading stream right now. I didn't know I was on for so long. Because I don't invest until I have the intuition. Yeah, for me, it's more if the intuition isn't telling me it's like it's a complete no, because you can be a relationship can be right just for a lesson, like you said, you know. So a relationship can be right for just for a lesson, just for a short period. So if you're, as long as you're not getting the intuition that this is dangerous or this is a really bad person, then for a lesson it's okay. Many people are difficult to read. They approach people with a mask on, and it takes a while to figure out who they really are. Well, yeah, that's totally true as well. Sometimes but you always, as like empaths as well, you or like light workers or whatever you might say, you always want to give someone the benefit of the doubt, and I think that rarely gets overlooked in the beginning of a relationship, when when someone tells you a lie or something, and you know it's a lie, but you think that's kind of small, kind of doesn't really matter. You definitely um you definitely give people leniency in the beginning because you're not committed. You're like, I'm not really bothered, so I'll just see how it goes. So I think, yeah. Oh dear Venus, I feel like if I would listen to my intuition about my date, I feel like I would never meet a guy. I find meeting the right people so hard. I'm really sorry. I know. I don't know though. Like, I I know may sound like the way I'm talking, like I don't feel like I've ever had like a really bad relationship. I actually would say surprisingly that my last relationship was probably my worst one. Um, to be honest, um, all of my other relationships, I feel like, and that was the shortest one as well that I ever had. But um, but I do feel like most of them, that I mean, even that one, there was a purpose. There definitely was purpose and reasons and everything for it, you know. Thunder lose level. Hello, welcome. Didn't see that troll. Let me just probably going to jump off in a moment. Anyway, I'm really sorry this isn't. I'm sorry this isn't a reading stream. Um, Tara says, I'd love to take you on a date, but I'm stuck in Canada for now. Maybe I'll be in the USA someday. I really don't care where I end up living, as long as it's not a city with a large population and no privacy. Are you taking pity on me? I'm not trying to get pity, I swear. But you're very sweet. I wish I could understand if there's anything coming in for love. I want my forever person so bad. How old are you then? 30, you said. I don't get the vibe there will ever be a collective awareness. There will always be a power dynamic scale and hierarchy. Um, Not where I'm going. I'm definitely headed to Andromeda at some point. I don't know if it'll be my next life, but they're self-governing, and it is very hard to envision it. And I certainly couldn't envision it from the standpoint of being here as a human. But that's one lifetime. So I know it's a future lifetime, or past lifetime, in terms of linear time on Earth. So um, but I would love to delve into that lifetime more because I really want to understand, make more sense of how they live, and I know that they're my like anarchist influences. I really want to understand more of how they live, and yeah, well, not why because I know why, how. Um, yeah, the collective awareness comes when we don't have inner thoughts anymore. So this how a lot of the ETs are is that they've evolved to a point where they don't have the need for like we have inner thoughts and then we speak outwardly. So it's very easy to think bad about someone and talk good about them. It's very easy to hide things because they're all here, you know, everything's hidden under this cloak. But if we were in like a telepathic civilization, I wouldn't be able to hide what I'm thinking, and so that's how it works. Is they I forgot what I was actually trying to answer. Oh yeah, so collective awareness. So they come to a level where they're all understanding and all connected, almost kind of like a hive mind, which sounds bad. I know it sounds bad because then it's like, are we all the same then? But but in terms of how you can't fake anything because you can't be hiding anything, and if someone is sad or something bad happens to them, they all know. So it's very advanced in that way. Someone shows up, accepts, and loves you for everything, including your flaws and challenges, used to be better. Yeah, and I think that's the thing, like growing with you and supporting you to be better, as opposed to constantly putting you down and telling you that you're like crap, you know? Because I think that some people think that they're like really great people because they can like support you to be a better person, but really they're just kind of like telling you you're awful. And you're kind of like, am I that bad? And then you start to think that you're a bad person as well. Um, Sarah, how old are you? I feel like I'm old, but yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I'm not that old. Um, Someone that makes the chaos and life seem bearable. I don't know. I like to think that I can make the chaos in my life seem bearable myself. Hopefully, you know. And that's coming from me. Like I'm someone to talk. Like that's really rich coming from me, someone who can't stay single. But but yeah. Um, I mean, I like being on my own though. Like I like being on my own. I just, I guess I prefer. I like being on my own. I like doing things on my own. I like spending time. You know, I like meeting random new people. Like I don't know. I like Yeah, I like being on my own, but I guess I like being in a relationship more. And I think it's okay to admit that. Single acres of land. Single acres of land for as little as $4,000. Isn't an acre like a lot? Isn't that like really cheap? $4,000 is like 3,600 Great British pounds, I think, something like that. I thought an acre was like huge. In theory, life is for rent. Yes, kind of is. I made an offer on an acre in Newfoundland, $14,000. That's crazy. $4,000 sounds so cheap. I want to live in a mobile home. Why do we need to own the land? Yeah. I mean, but there's a lot of places you could travel, and you still have to pay a lot of them to park. But I'm sure it's pretty cheap. I don't know if I could live in a mobile home. I think that's one thing. Is like, I think I, I'm not like, I don't know. I have too many things. Like, I there's some things I could give up, some things I couldn't give up. I think I could do it. I don't think I could do it permanently. I think it would have to be a temporary. I'd have to know it was like a temporary thing. I don't know. I love baths. I love being super warm. I love space. I love clothes. I don't know. I don't know if I would be able for any prolonged period of time. Not Christian, but I do like that. Oh, I don't know what that says. I'm sorry. I don't know what the name is, but love is patient, love is kind, love does not want. Very nice. I hope it's patient. I have to look at real estate in the UK. It would be expensive. Um, I think so. Like I think that it's more expensive here than in a lot of places, especially for you. So you have to think about what you're getting. So like the home inside might be good, but it's the land. Like the houses in the UK, like so many of the houses in the UK are like connected. So it's like your bedroom will have like a wall between it, and it'll be. Of course, it's a new house, and they can't get into your house through your front door. But like I, I I think you know what I mean. You probably have seen places like townhouses in like New York, maybe, you know. I know that like they're more like what we call flats or apartments, but well, no, a townhouse is yeah. So like a townhouse, I think it's like a full 3-story thing of it's a house, isn't it? Like a 3-story house, but they're attached to each other, like they're connected. Most houses like that are like that in the UK. Whereas like I don't want that. Like my house could be as small as you know, within reason, could be as small as anything. Like I don't really care about the size of the home as long as it's like you know, it's not silly small, like tiny home. Um, but it's the land around it. Like I just want like a land around my house. I don't want it to be attached to anybody else's house. I don't want like my neighbors to be able to see into my like garden. I want some privacy, you know. Um, that's all for me. Another thing for me about here really is like even some. I could sneeze. Even some really expensive houses here are still like semi detached, so it's like just two together where they're still attached in the middle and there's two. And it's like I would never pay that no matter how rich I was. I would never pay that much for a house that's attached to somebody else's house. I'd rather buy a small cottage somewhere that's got land all the way around it than pay that price for a house that's attached to somebody else's house. It's just crazy. I'm stuck in my cape. Sometimes being an empath makes it hard in relationships because we can see yeah, because you want to, and you want to see the good as well. So any good that they do put forward, you latch onto because you want to see the good in them. You also understand the things they've been through as a child, which is one thing that, as well, that's the thing with like narcissists and manipulative people is they will always tell you, um, they'll always tell you how bad their childhood was. They'll always like put all that on you as well. Like they know, you know. So you've got that, and then you've got wanting to see the good in them, and you know, it's just yeah. Nothing's hidden. The Hive. That could be a movie. Yeah. Hi, Jasmine. Hello. Uh, I don't do anything from the emotional pity. I don't think I have that emotion. Empathy is something I feel in the 44th. Lol. Oh wait, I'm free. Oh, you're a bit young for me. No, I have. um, yeah, I am very much into older men. Um, LP, my thing with dating is sometimes I would be proud of this person if I raised them. Would I be proud of this person if I raised them? Yes. Personally, I want kids, so that's important to me since they will be, I can't even read now for some reason. Um, be a model to my child. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah. An acre is approximately 300 feet by 300 feet. Still something I have for a Libra. I have no sense of scale, so I know that sounds pretty big to me, but yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's a really scary thing. Could I successfully co-parent with them if we were to break up? But that's one of those things where you might not know because it's often like how someone acts in a breakup. Like I don't know, the side of a person that they put forward in the beginning. I don't know. I just don't know. Because if you're both new, so also what I find is like you get to know people on a deeper and deeper level the more experiences that you have with them, which is why I think like traveling with people, moving in with people, doing new experiences that you've never had before that they've never had before together with people is always good because when every new experience you have with someone you're learning something deeper and newer about them rather than just going to eat and going to drink all the time. You know, you need to be mixing up the experiences to really actually learn any depth about a person. And if you have your first child with them and then you break up, like that's going to be both your first times having a child, so you're going to be learning even more about them then. I mean, then you're going to, you know, if you go for a breakup or a divorce, it's going to be both your first time going through, well, maybe not, but, you know, it could be both of your first times going through that, or both your first times going through that with a child, or, you know, some, whatever it might be. But, like I have, friends now who have children, and they now saying, now that they've had a child with this boy, you know, now I realise how lazy he is, or how whatever he is, how like this he is, and I'm like, didn't you realise this before? And it's like, no, since having a child, a lot more those deeper experiences, those more serious experiences, can sometimes open people's eyes, and then it's a little bit too late. So yeah, definitely keeping gut intuition to the forefront is definitely needed. Sorry, I have an itchy eye. It still sounds it still sounds big to me. 208.7 feet. I don't know. Steph, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. You want a detached house? Townhouses are not great but no privacy. I would not live in one of these places again. A house that is attached to your neighbours and you both paid 500,000 for it. That is a guaranteed argument. Exactly, that's what I mean. Yes, I want a detached house. Thank you. Yeah, I want a detached house. And I don't care if it's a really small house, I want the detached part. Jasmine, my last place was a townhouse. Here we consider those 2 or 3-story apartments. We have all types of houses though. Single family house is what you want here. It's what you're describing you want. Here, the way your houses are attached would be considered multi-family homes. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it like that. Tara, I didn't ever put on an axe. I might be too honest. I don't know. I Is there such thing as too honest? I wonder. I don't know. I mean, I don't know because I always think like I get that someone might not want to hurt my feelings, but would I rather know what they really think than care about my feelings getting hurt? Yeah, probably. I probably would, but I'm not super sensitive. So, but I guess some people are. So, yeah, I guess it depends. Jasmine, do you have time to do the haunted doll stream? Um, well, actually, I'm not 100% on my device yet. I still need to check my device. So I did not think that the stream would go almost 2 hours, but LP and Tara have been interesting me quite a lot. Theodora a little bit as well. And I would love to. These are the kind of things, like especially LP, like that I would love to delve more into um, on Discord. I only say especially LP because you feel like you've touched on a few more conspiracy-esque sides of things. Um, you know, I I would love to have more of these like just kind of chatty chat kind of things, but would love to hear you guys speak as well if you wish to. Um, so yeah, but I still haven't. I was thinking maybe doing it after this, but honestly, I thought I would be on for like half an hour, and I've been on for almost 2 hours. So yes, I really should jump off. It probably is about time to jump off. But this, so I don't know. So the name of the stream is a joke. I have not hexed anybody. It was all just a joke because of the Times article. Um, so Jasmine, I know you just jumped in. We were talking about the article, so it came out. We were just talking about um, just so I type because the title is "The Witches of Etty will can cast oh wait can cast the curse on your ex." I was joking around in the beginning, saying that I was going to cast everybody's exes and I was going to write their name on bay leaf and cast them, but I was just joking. But yeah, if you want to see just the beginning of it, I just go over the article a little bit. So yeah, if you do want to, oh my gosh, I can't speak now. I've been on here too long. I keep hitting that as well, which I never do usually. So yeah, it was just a stream of me going over the article basically, pretty quickly. Well, I was comparing it to another article I got put in. This one was from 2022, August 2022, about my like more starseed type sessions, and that was like a total hit piece. And I was just talking about how it is much less biased. So it talks about me, it talks about a few other spellcasters online, and it talks to people who've had spells done from people online, and it gives one good one and one bad one. Someone who had a bad experience. It's not a bad experience. They just say that they still say actually that they felt movement. They felt. Let's see. It says she paid, but this is like one where she paid. She says she did it out of curiosity, although she does believe in these kind of practices. She did not see the career boost, but she did get her first ever radio appearance, which was a positive progression of sorts, or progression of sorts. She said, "I wouldn't pay for the same service again, um, as I believe you make your own luck. I'm I tried it." And then there's another one that's even more positive. I think there is a negative one in there somewhere though. Um, so yeah, so they vary between, I guess, positive review, negative review, and kind of in betweenish review. Of not of people who bought my products. None of them are reviews from people who bought my products. It says, um, what's it say? Um, Whoever this person is paid for a career progression charm sold by a different seller, so it wasn't from me. But they do state like that I have 4.9 stars and thousands of reviews, 4,500 reviews. But they list it. So I didn't read the whole. I didn't read the whole article. I just read like little bits and pieces and like kind of explained it. But it's definitely much more unbiased than the last one. That was Insider, the last one. I don't know if Insider do a paper copy of the paper. And I was saying as well how this is actually the first. I was saying this is the first newspaper I've bought in, and then I thought about it, and I was like, I don't think I've ever actually bought a physical newspaper ever. Sometimes they sometimes have horoscopes in. Sometimes they have horoscopes in. Forgot to check that. I could have been reading people their horoscopes. Oh no. I know the free one. The free one you get on the train, that does have horoscope. Oh. No. The free one you get on the train that has horoscopes in. It's like as soon as I'm on the train, if there's one there, I will just skip straight to that. Because I wouldn't read it for any other reason. Propaganda and horoscopes. Yeah. But anyway, so thank you, Ella. Thank you. Nice to see you. You are too honest. You share a lot about yourself online. Yeah, okay, I know. I don't share many aspects of my life. I still have not shown my face on YouTube. I don't know why. I'm good looking enough. 7 out of 10. um, well, I don't know. I don't know. I think like 7. I think seven's like a nice number. I think seven's like a nice number people give themselves when they do think they're good looking, but they don't want to be vain. Because seven's always the number that people say, isn't it? Like they always say they're a 7. Um, whereas clearly I'm an 11. You know, and of course that's a joke. But yeah. So I think I don't know. Like I do share too much about myself online, and I noticed that I start to get too comfortable with saying things on stream because I actually mentioned somewhere close to where I live, which I will usually say Wirral, which is a pretty small area anyway, I guess, but it's big enough, you know. And I mentioned somewhere that was right next to my house in another stream previously, and I was like, oh, Venus, you shouldn't be that open, you know. So I definitely have, and I ate on stream for the first time on the member stream the other day. I just randomly. I didn't mean it wasn't like I planned to like eat a meal on stream. I just literally just a nut, like I ate a nut. But I've never done that on stream before, and I don't know if I just feel like people would judge me when I'm like eating, like chewing, and like talking. So I definitely feel like I do just feel really comfortable with you guys, and that maybe I should be a little bit careful because it isn't just you guys. It's there could be anybody. There could be anybody on here who's also watching but not commenting. Um, Really sorry, Kieran. Yeah, so it's literally just a stream about the article, and it was not supposed to. I thought it would be like 20 minutes most. Yeah, I thought it would be like 20 minutes at the most, but I just got too interested chatting, like I always do. Um, and I was joking, so I was like going to pretend to write people's names, names of your ex, and you know, put them in the cash jar, in the little cash jar, because it says in the article that the witches will curse your ex if you want them to, and of course I told her on the phone call that I do not do any curses, I do not do curses or hexes or anything like that. But that's just what the article is called, so that was my little joke that I was going to do that. Yeah, Damini, if just watch the beginning and maybe flick through a little bit, you might just the beginning. It's after I finished talking about the article and comparing it to an old article I was in, which pretty much is chatting to the chat. So it's really not that long if you it's really not that long if you only watch that bit. But it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you, and I appreciate the support. Goody. Hello, welcome, and yes, I was going to email you and just see how things were, see where you were up to and everything. But yeah, obviously I didn't. But it's nice to see you on stream, and yeah, I look forward to hearing from you soon. You tried matchstick divination. Great. How did it go? How do you feel like it went? It's giving you answers. Good. So, okay, so this live was just about the newspaper article that I was in. Wait, I'm showing this the wrong way. This is a UK newspaper called The Times. There's a mobile one, so you can see on the actual article, this lady here, and then me there. In the online article, there's still that picture of me, but there's more pictures of my spells. So I did send in some spell pictures as well. So there's a few more pictures of my spells on the internet one, the online article. It's a little bit different. So I might add that to this video afterwards. But I just went out and bought it because obviously I'm going to clip that part out. I even kept the article that speaks badly about me printed it out myself. So that one is not too bad. So well, it's pretty unbiased and I kind of appreciate it. So I'm definitely going to keep that. And yeah. So that's all. That's all the stream was about. Was just I was joking around a little bit, pretending I was going to do cards because that's what the article is titled, and spoke a little bit about the article. I compared it to the old article that I was in and the difference in experience because Charlotte Alt, who wrote this newspaper, actually reached out to me through my website for me to speak with her, and I did. And this insider, when they reached out to me, I did reply and I did say I would speak to them, and they put in the article, she refused to comment, which isn't true. I said I would totally talk to you about the Octorians or any other starseed that you would like to talk about, any other alien that you would like to talk about. So I did say I would talk to them, but they just wanted to put that, I think, but I didn't comment. So yeah, I was just kind of talking about the article and comparing the two. And yeah, just saying how this one was definitely a lot less biased and a lot just better in general. So yeah, that's it really. So I will jump off in a moment. But I appreciate the likes and I really appreciate Maya for the super sticker. She thinks she's gone now, but thank you. Still appreciate that. During one, I saw two matchsticks became one. It was like one matchstick under the other. One was on the surface and the other one under it. Then I saw the X and the V shape also, and even parallel matchsticks. Amazing. Kryptonic. Curious things you find whilst doom scrolling. Well, have a nice scroll. I hope you enjoy your doom scrolling. Sounds like a great pastime. Hope you enjoy that. But love, light, and blessings. Tara, you should buy many copies of that paper if you have the room for storage. if you have the room for storage, I buy a copy. I don't know how much this newspaper was. That's actually one thing. Is like I think like newspapers when we were younger were probably like, yeah, £4. Wow. I'm sure newspapers were under £1. See, this is where it's like you said I wasn't old, but I'm like back in my day, newspapers were only 70p. You know, so I must be getting old. But yeah, so um, but yeah, so I'll probably link the article to this. And but that's great, Kieran. It's really nice to. I like to hear you guys doing your own divinations and everything, especially something when it's it's quite unique. Not a lot of people do the matchstick one, so that's quite nice. And I'm a good thing as well. So what I do, like advice I give, or I suppose tip I give is if you're doing a simple divination that's like yes or no, I always like to do ask 3 questions. Well, ask questions that you know the answer to already. It sounds stupid, but if you say like, "Is my name Venus? Am I from the UK? Did I just talk for a whole 2 hours about a newspaper article I'm in?" Like questions you know the answer to, and you can vary them between the answer being yes or no. You can say, "Is my name Fred?" And hopefully it comes as no. But if you get the generally my programming, the divination is if it comes the answer is right 3 times in a row to a question I already know, then I'm ready to go. So if you're asking like, is my name Venus, and it's coming as no, I know that I'm not connected yet, if that makes sense. So I always try to get 3 in a row connected, and then I feel a bit more confident about it, just as a tip, just in case. But in case you might feel a bit more comfortable. But that's great. Newspaper 5 cents. Have a guy on the streets corner yelling out the headline to bad that does not happen anymore. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I've never known. I've never heard that or seen that, like the yelling of um the fly. Um, the yelling. I've seen it on like films and things, but I've never seen that in real life myself. Um, Town crier, yes. Imagine that was your job. Gosh, I get a sore throat and I'm not really shouting. I'm just kind of talking. But okay. So I will jump off now because I definitely have been on for much longer than I had planned. So yes. So there will be an early stream tomorrow. I think I posted that it's most likely going to be between 11 and 1. Please don't hold me to that. When I say most likely, or I'm saying like aiming for and things like that, things might come up. Someone might say like, Venus, I'm desperate for a Reiki. Please, please, please book me in. I do have my work does work like that, so I don't know ahead of the week everything I'm going to be doing. Someone might, book with me. As soon as I jump off, I might see that I'm booked between 11 and 1, So I can't say be 100%. I'm going to try to come on between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. GMT tomorrow. And yeah, I'm going to do my best to do that. So, and then probably a later one as well. And maybe that later one can be the haunted door one. So I definitely do want it to be dark when I do that. So yeah, the later one will probably be the door one. Kate says, "Why are you wearing a hoodie? Is it cold there?" This is my work uniform. This is a cape, like a not cape. What's the name for it? Like a there's another word for it. Cape, gown, there's something else I'm not guessing it, but you know what I mean. It's like because I'm, because I'm going to cast people, I'm like a witch, or whatever. I wear this sometimes. Have you never seen me wear this before? Yeah, it's just like a, gown? Cape? I call it cape, but that's not the right word. What's the right word? Do they know? It's not a cape. Cape's like the Batman wears. I don't know. I can't think. I don't know. There's definitely another name for it. Cloak! Yes. I don't know why that's made me laugh so much. Just like how dumb I am sometimes, and like the word just won't come to me, and I'm like, you're on a stream, stop. I'm like, I can see the buffering symbol above my head. Cloak. Cloak, yes. I'm like, I feel like I've been sat there for like 5 minutes when really it's probably only been like 10 seconds, but I'm like, oh my god, you look so dumb. Cloak, that's it. Cloak. So would you make, so would like 5 p.m. be good enough for you, Demeanie? Like a good enough time? That's okay. I just sent an email. I don't have anything to say today. You guys are always welcome to just like say hi. That's okay. Um, whoa, I'm a ghost. Just packing up my belongings and boiling snow and cooking. Feel cold out, so I'm staying in. Oh no. I can't cope with the cold anymore. I really need to be warm. Should I call that a cloak? Yeah. I feel like Kieran's gonna be like, call that a cloak. This is a cloak, and pull out like an even better cloak. Yeah, I would call it a cloak. Wouldn't you call it a cloak? I don't know. Cape sounds too. I don't know. Cloak. Yeah, I think cloak's the right word. Can you have? Can you have my phone? Can I have your phone number, sis? Yes. My phone number is 999. 5 p.m. is good. Okay. So the early stream, not 100% certain yet. I'm going to try 100% certain on what it'll be. But going to try to get that in somewhere, and then if I get the device. So I said I was going to check the device. I haven't quite checked it yet, but have charged it. So see how it works. If I can download the app on it, and then if we can do a 5 p.m. stream tomorrow for the haunted doll. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't turn on, if something's wrong with the app or something, I will find a different way. Maybe rob someone else's phone. When I say that, I mean like, a friend or family member for like 5 minutes, not like actually steal a phone. Wearing gloves indoors is recommended. No, 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 no. Oh, you live in Canada, don't you? Oh, I really want to visit it. One of my favourite shows is from there, but it sounds too cold for me. Wow, wow. Okay, so I will jump off. I'll jump off. But really, really nice to see you all. I really appreciated, how many people have jumped in and out throughout the length of the stream. And shout out to Maya for the super chat. LP and Tara for being here like most of the stream. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I hope to catch you pretty soon. But yeah, so early stream tomorrow. Like I said, as long as I'm not like booked or something, as long as I don't find out booked. And then if we can do the haunted doll, as long as the phone works. So there's a few praise to do, but hopefully tomorrow will be good. So love, light, and blessings to each of you, and I really, really hope to see you tomorrow.